Hi again. I know many of you are expecting to see me turning this blank that I made a few weeks ago, and I will get to it. I've just been sidetracked with things this week. Sidetracked mainly with our annual load of firewood that's arrived and needed splitting and stacking and sorting out. And that led me to this little piece of turning. Obviously this is ash, a piece of green ash that came in the firewood. I just thought I'd have a little play with it. Absolutely beautiful grain. I'd like to actually watch this over the year and see how much it moves and shakes and cracks, and perhaps I'll take a photograph on a regular basis so that I can see how it moves. This time next year hopefully it'll be dry. Be nice to see what's happened to it if it survives. But it's got a beautiful figuring through it, and as a result I took quite a few pieces of this. I think it's spaltered as this ash. I took a few pieces. I've laned them up ready for use later, probably next year, year after. Obviously painted the ends, waxed the ends. So we'll come back to those another day. But this was an inspiration then for the piece that I actually want to show you this week, which is this square edged, straight edged bowl made from a piece of oak. The story's in the video. You can watch that to your heart's content. But I really enjoyed the turning. It'd be nice getting back in the workshop. It's a lot warmer, makes me a lot happier, and my hands can cope with the turning. In the cold I can't sand, I can't do anything. It's just too cold for me. That's the problem with the arthritis. But we're back in the shop, we're turning. Here's what we produced this week. I hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, thanks for watching. Having established a centre, I'll now drill that and mount it on the screw chuck on the lathe. Turn it onto the screw. I know many people do this with the lathe running, but I'll leave that to them. I prefer to do it slowly by hand and not risk my fingers on my face. And using the skew I'll create a dovetail. because of the wings on the sides here and still being fairly rectangular in format, I'm going to have to work all these edges, sand them by without the machine running. Continue with the sanding. I'm being careful when sanding, or trying to be careful that I don't interfere with the dovetail in here too much. Try and keep that fairly crisp for holding in the jaws. Right, I'm going to put the suction on whilst I do the rest of the sanding and take it through the grits. I'll be back shortly. So tempting just to pull your hand all the way around the piece, but you very suddenly feel the thump of the wing. It's a cellulose sanding steel that I'm using. I cut that with thinners, cellulose thinners. As I'm sanding away here, it's quite a good time to have a little chat with you all and once again issue words of thanks. I know it's really been quite a few months with very little content from me, and yet so many of you have stayed with me, and many new subscribers again. I've over 1,000 subscribers now, which for many people might not seem much, but you know, I set out to do this not to create a channel, as it were, just to try and encourage myself to turn and have a reason to turn. At the time, if you recall from my first videos, I was suffering from depression. I have a number of disabilities which sadly leave me stuck at home all the time. I've been using wood turning to give me a reason to get up every day. And running the channel, making the videos, gave me that extra reason. People wanted to see what I was doing, which really quite surprised me, but thank you very much. And now we're over the winter here in the UK, which wasn't the best of times for me. We can now start getting more videos out and doing more work. In fact, it's typical. Last week I was freezing here in the workshop. It was, I think it was just 1 degree. I don't know what it is today, but I'm absolutely sweltering. You can't win. Now I'll give it a coat of wax. It's just a paste wax. Now, I've never used paste wax on anything like these wings before, so I don't know how I'll buff this up. In fact, thinking about it, I can use the buffing wheels later to buff it up. Definitely a sensible option. I do like oak when it's just been waxed. It's a lovely finish. There's some beautiful rays in here. I haven't actually turned any oak bowls or anything since I very first started turning. And the first bowl I turned was, in fact, it was from the same piece of wood. It's been sat there all that time. There you go. Lovely finish. Yeah, I've turned the piece around now and put it in the drawers. I'll start hollowing out and then taking away the wings. I'll clean up now with a scraper. Right, sanding time again. The shape on the top now mirrors, in fact a lot nearer than I thought it would, mirrors the shape on the side, on the back. I've been through the grits, it's time to start the finishing. As always, when I've finished with the sanding, I have a good clean up around my shop. I find the dust lingers for quite some time, even though I have air extraction running and everything else. So just before I start finishing, I always like to have a good clean up, get any lingering dust out of the way, and hopefully that won't settle on the project. So sanding sealer first. Just D-nib. Peace and quiet again. Last check around, I'm happy with what I've done. I love the way the rays in oak shine up, come through when it's polished. I don't find it a particularly pleasant wood to work, but I do like the results of it. Well, there we go. A very pleasant session in the workshop today. Nice little result of the bowl here. You can see the shape. Hopefully you can see the shape. Those that are interested, it's just under 7 inch, about 175 millimeters long, 5 inch or 130 wide, and about 1 inch and 3/4 or 35 millimeters deep. And so this was a final remnant of oak from the very first bowl I turned as an adult. I did do some turning as a child, as a teenager, but as an adult this is an offcut from that first piece quite a few years ago. It should really have gone in the bin, but I hung on to it, and there was no checking in the ends of the board, which was grand, and as you can see, with a nice little piece there, we shall find a home for. In fact, the home for this is going to hopefully to a very special lady. We've just had Mother's Day in the UK, and I promised my dear mother a piece of turning to celebrate this year, and this is the first opportunity I've had really, and the first turning. So Mum, happy Mother's Day. I know in the States Mother's Day hasn't arrived yet, and I'm not sure about other places in the world, but I think we're about 2 weeks ago here, so I shall be in the doghouse. But Mum, thank you very much, and thank you for everything. And to the rest of you, thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.